Bull, if you like the YouTube show, it helps go into the algorithm and send out to more people. So it's not on the back end. It's right on the front page. How about that, Bull?
Watch that back end there, man.
Okay, so we teased this a little earlier. We talked about one mock draft that had Jalen Milroe at 2 to the Browns. Well, Mel Kiper Jr., we all know Mel Kiper. He put out his first mock draft of the 2025 season this morning. And his pick for the Browns is Travis Hunter. I want to read you his little write-up on Travis Hunter because one thing in particular stood out to me.
Okay.
As Mel Kiper said, quote, "Know how I just said the Titans had the league's second worst QBR and interception total? Well, the Browns were the worst in both categories. Deshaun Watson also retore his right Achilles, and Jameis Winston is a free agent, so taking Sanders isn't out of the question." He also had Cam Ward going number 1 for the record. But I think Cleveland is more likely to address another hole here and find quarterback reinforcements in free agency and or later in the draft. Trading back for more picks with another QB-needy team could be part of the equation too.
I agree with that part.
Hunter is just that good. I see elite quickness and ball skills on both sides of the ball, traits that helped him score 15 touchdowns and grab 4 interceptions this season. The Browns would likely use him primarily at receiver and then sprinkle him in at cornerback in specific situations.
I find it. I always am curious as to when guys do mock drafts. Do they do it based on what they think should happen or what they think will happen?
I think what they think will happen.
Okay, so but like
because he obviously put some input in there from Cleveland about what some things that they were thinking.
But does Mel Kiper know what the Browns are thinking?
He talks to everybody, Bull.
Yeah,
he talks to everybody.
It's interesting.
He's got people at every single organization. He is as plugged in, perhaps, as anyone. I know he doesn't break as much news as he's strictly a draft guy. That is it.
And he's been doing it since I was 2.
And doing it very well.
Yeah.
And I love Mel Kiper.
But the funny thing is, if they trade down for another team and to move up to get a quarterback, the Browns better damn well be right that quarterback's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to look...
Because if they trade down and then that guy becomes a good quarterback that they could have taken...
You're right. No, you're right.
That's what I've been saying the whole time. Like, you can't, it's almost you can't afford, like, you can't afford not to have a quarterback. Like, if they want to trade down, they better be damn sure.
And to that point, that's risky, right? If I'm Andrew Berry, who has and I'm going to be kind here, who has a spotty draft record, and I'm being kind.
Oh, yeah.
If I had to put his draft record in either been good or bad, it's been bad. And I don't think anybody would disagree with this.
Yeah.
If I'm Andrew Berry, I have to have a guy that I think 5 years from now is not only on my roster, but has played at an all-pro level or a Pro Bowl level. And I don't think that guy is there at quarterback, that you can really relax at night saying, I don't have to worry about this guy. I think the guys that you don't have to worry about, Carter and Hunter, to me, those are the guys. And Andrew Berry better get this right because he can't have another bad year.
The problem is, it's just the quarterback is so much more important than everything else.
I understand that.
Those guys don't turn around franchises.
And Barry and Stefanski can't go through another year of 4 or 5 wins.
Oh, no.
Like they're hoping and praying, I'm sure, that they can find a quarterback at number 2 that can come in here and play right away and help them sort of establish.
Do you think with the guys that are out there, the odds are greater that they bring in a guy at quarterback that underwhelms or overwhelms? Because I think the odds are greater than
we're talking about a veteran. We're talking about number 2.
No, I'm thinking about at 2, and that's another reason why I would just steer away from that and get one later in the draft. There are guys out there that you can make a play for, and for me, I just think that you've got to be operating this as the most sure thing, and I just think that Travis Hunter is the most NFL-ready player.
So you're in favor.
I don't think GMs look at it the same way we do.
No, they probably don't, Bull. But if you're Andrew Berry, you're not looking at it the way a first-year GM looks at it. You've got a honeymoon period. His honeymoon is over.
Well, let me ask you this, Jay. If you're Andrew Berry,
and
let's say Andrew, I don't think he thinks this way, but let's say you're Andrew Berry and Cam Ward goes 1, and in your heart, your brain, whatever, you're like, I'm 90% sure that Shedeur Sanders is going to be a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure Travis Hunter is going to be a Pro Bowl caliber.
Take Travis Hunter.
See, if I were him, I would take the quarterback.
Here's why I say that. The 90% at quarterback.
Yeah.
We have seen in our lifetimes 30 guys that have been 90% sure guys at quarterback that have just washed out. They just weren't good.
But you
And-
got
and-
to.
I don't know.
They don't have a grace
There's
period.
been plenty
though.
of other positions that have
They
washed
don't
out.
have-
They don't have a grace
but
period.
we don't know
so
Travis
if-
Hunter's going to
think
be great
about
in the
it.
NFL. There's no
but
short thing.
if I'm putting a likelihood on Travis Hunter being a star in the NFL
Yeah.
or Sanders or Ward, I am betting on Travis Hunter all day, every day. I just am, because at that position, it is easier to translate success from the college ranks to the NFL. And by the way, his Achilles heel in his drafts has been wide receiver.
So here's
He
the thing.
cannot
That-
evaluate talent at wide receiver.
So Jay, if they draft Travis Hunter, he's a corner and a receiver.
I look at him as a receiver.
Okay. Well, no, he got to play. If you're going to draft him at 2, he better play everything.
Yeah, but now if he's that great asset, you double the injury risk.
Well, see this thing. You're risk averse. You gonna have to take a risk. If you draft Travis Hunter, you're gonna have to play him both ways. If you don't take Travis Hunter, you have to take a quarterback, because a quarterback gives you the more bang for your buck. If you think about it like this, you can put Travis Hunter on this squad, and y'all can win 5 games. You're out of a job, and you got Travis Hunter.
Well, we don't know what the quarterback's going to be. We don't-
So that's what I'm saying. The quarterback, chances are, if you draft a quarterback in the 3rd round, he is not ready to play right now.
Okay, let me ask you this, because you've been Mr. Stockpile USA at wide receiver.
Yes.
What if you take Sanders and then at 6 games through the year, it's obvious he's got one receiver to throw to again?
Well,
Who you
Wouldn't
throwing
you
to?
rather be in that
No,
situation?
I wouldn't, because I've lived in that situation for the last, really, honestly, in the Browns' entire history, they have the worst collection of wide receivers of any team in the
Agreed,
NFL,
Jay, but-
save maybe the Chicago
But that's
Bears.
not why
That's
they haven't
not-
won.
No,
That's-
I know it's
yeah.
not, but Bull, what they've done hasn't worked.
Go get free agents.
It hasn't worked.
And they haven't drafted a lot of quarterbacks high.
No.
Well, if you go back and look since they've come back, yeah, they have.
It-
And they've all been, for the most part, bad draft picks.
Here's the thing.
No, they've drafted.
1 or 2. I mean,
They've drafted Tim Couch and Baker Mayfield.
number 1.
That's it.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about number one. I'm talking about draft quarterback, period.
Well,
some
anything after
of
a
them
first
were
round
trades.
pick.
I
is
mean,
a
hell,
draft
they
pick.
drafted
Some of
Brady
them
Quinn.
But Jay,
Some of them were trades.
you're hitting us.
Colt McCoy.
I feel like, and I don't know,
3rd
you may
round.
be right. I don't buy that quarterbacks bust in the first round any more than any other position. I don't know that I'm sure that data's out there. I'd like to know what the truth is.
I would like to know it too.
I
I'd love
think
to know.
a lot of people think that because it's more noticeable when
and
a quarterback
there's
busts.
more quarterbacks taken in the first round than usually most any other position.
I don't think that's
Last
true.
year, how many? 6?
Well,
I just
That's
talk-
unusual.
I just
It
talked
is,
about
but-
this on. I talked about this on Ultimate Browns. I said, look, if you guys, we sat here all year. We said, what was the issue? We had Sean King going. We talked about it week after week after week after week. Quarterback. We talked about it all year. Now you're here. You're right in front of it. You got this number 2 overall pick. Now you're telling me in a bad quarterback class, quote unquote,
It is a bad quarterback class.
you want to get the 5th best quarterback in a bad quarterback class and then hope that's going to
I'd rather do that than overreach and be wrong.
But you
can't be wrong
but-
again.
But Jay, there's got to be a quarterback in this draft that's worthy of playing the NFL.
I
Yes,
agree,
this
there
Browns.
is.
Yes,
I
there are.
agree.
So if the Browns have the number 2 pick, odds are they're probably going to be able to pick the guy they want.
Yeah, but go back and look at all of the drafts where quarterbacks taken not first or second or even in the first round. When I'll name the 2 most successful in our lifetime.
you think the Browns should take-
Tom Brady and where was Patrick Mahomes taken?
Jay,
First round?
First round.
Late in the first round,
11th.
later or 12th.
It was
I thought it
11th.
was
He's
12th.
10th pick.
Yeah.
Most of
Okay,
the great
still, that's not
Jay,
like
Jay,
world-changing.
Most of the top quarterbacks were drafted in the first round. Almost all of them. Anything lower than that's an anomaly.
I would say that you better be right. I mean,
yeah,
yes.
of course it's right.
However,
Do you want to run through the list
for
real quick
all
again?
of the guys that were drafted in the first round that succeeded, there are guys that were drafted in the 3rd round, in the 4th, in the 5th.
No, there aren't.
Tom Brady.
That's one
Brock
guy.
Purdy.
There's
Brock
a
Purdy
couple-
was taken with the last
Jay,
pick
but
in
you're
the
saying
draft.
as many guys know most of the good quarterbacks were drafted in the first round.
Well, yes, because they're the highest-rated quarterbacks coming out of college.
So why would
We've
you
had
not-
4 years to address it.
So why won't
but,
you take
but
one?
do you want to call up a list of the guys that have been drafted first
But-
that were awful?
But
But
here's
we
the
can
thing.
do that about other positions
we
too.
can. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is, if you're the Browns,
Yeah.
you have to measure this as you can't be wrong again. It
I agree.
sets this organization back. I'm saying that the likelihood of missing at quarterback in this draft, then comparing it to wide receiver with Travis Hunter sitting there, is greater.
in your opinion, if
my opinion,
if Andrew Berry feels that way, then I agree with you. But if he may not feel that way,
he may not, and it may cost him his job.
This regime, I'm just be honest with you. This regime this is their third strike. You missed on Baker.
It's their fourth strike.
Okay. Well, you missed on Baker. You missed on Deshaun Watson. You missed on DTR. You didn't know what Snoop Huntley was good or not. You moved. These guys don't have a clue
he
with
didn't
it.
miss on DTR. He was a crapshoot
I'm
late
just
round
saying
pick.
they have not.
And I don't even think they missed on Baker.
They have not.
I don't.
They have not developed a quarterback and identified a quarterback while they've been here in 5 years.
Well, this group didn't draft Baker.
But they missed. Someone
So we can't even count Baker.
No, yes, you can. They had an evaluation on whether Baker Mayfield was good
yeah,
or
but not Andrew Berry.
Group didn't pick Baker.
No, they were.
No, he's saying they did an
They
evaluation
were
whether or not he was
there
the
coaching
long-term.
him. He was
long-term
right
option.
on the team. What don't you get about that? Baker Mayfield was the quarterback.
Yeah, but they
No,
didn't
gee,
take
this
him.
group. You said this group.
This group.
G is saying they had 2 years to evaluate whether or not Baker was the
And they
quarterback of the
missed.
future. And
Oh,
they
you're
missed.
saying he's been
Oh,
good?
I
Yes.
G,
Yes.
I got you, G.
You see what
I
I'm
got
saying?
you.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, what do you mean?
We missed. You said they missed. I thought they missed it in the
no.
draft.
And I did too, because we were talking specifically about drafting quarterbacks.
Their evaluations on quarterbacks in general has been poor while they've been in Cleveland. So here we see today you need a quarterback. Now, for you to be right here and need a quarterback and say I'm going to draft a receiver when we know you guys are smart. You know what the position is. The reason we don't want to do it is because we don't have faith that they'll pick the right person.
I don't.
That's it.
I don't.
But that's
Yeah.
But you still have to do that.
The bottom line is, and I agree with you. If you have no faith they're going to get it right, which is fair. I don't have a ton
And
of
I
faith.
don't. I have none.
Then they're going to screw up. No matter who they draft, they're going to screw
Which
it up.
is why I'm going back to, if I'm this regime,
Yeah.
and you've got no cachet with the fans, you've got no previous draft equity that you've gotten it right, you can't afford to maybe get it wrong. You have to go with the most sure thing.
If he's
And
drafting
for
that
me,
way, he should be fired.
I know, but Bull,
Yeah.
it's different than if he was a first-year GM. Let's take a flyer on a quarterback. We got the number 2. Let's see what we can get.
But this about Stefanski though.
I'm not even putting Stefanski into this because I don't know
Yeah.
how much say he'll have in this.
What you mean?
It's going to be Andrew Berry's pick. That's what I'm told.
Listen, if Kevin Stefanski, once again, if
They
Kevin,
work together.
Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry got contracts at the same time. They are both on the hot seat. If Kevin Stefanski has been coaching this team and he says, I have not had we talked about it. He has not had a choice to pick his guy. He's there. Kevin Stefanski better stand up on that coffee table and say, listen, I lost doing it your way. We're going to win doing
What
it
if
my
he doesn't
way.
think his guy is there at 1 or 2?
He better make one.
Then
He
don't
better
draft.
make
Guys, let Dustin get in here. We got to.
I
go ahead.
just think
I dream a genie.
and this is about 6 minutes ago when I tried to respond to your comment about this. In terms, do you think that the Browns, if you're Kevin Stefanski, do you think that there's a quarterback in this draft that you think can help your franchise turn it around?
Well, Kevin Stefanski's the only one that can answer
right,
that.
Right, and there has to be. There's got to be somebody.
And
with all these players in college football, there's got to be at least one that you're like, that's the guy.
Now, I agree with what you're saying. There is a quarterback in this draft. There's a quarterback in every draft.
Find him.
Yeah. Well, and guess
But
what?
here's
You
the
have the
tricky part.
pick at number 2 to go get the guy that you want. And
Yes.
so with that being said, none of us can sit here and say they're idiots when they make that pick.
That's right.
Because we looked at a mock draft
No.
and said he was rated as the 50th best
Here's how I'll say
prospect.
they're idiots. If it doesn't work, that's it.
Well,
if they draft
But we won't know that
Will
on draft
Howard
day.
at number 2 and it works, they're geniuses.
I'll shake your
If
hand.
they take Will Howard at number 2 and it fails, they're fired.
Yes.
That's it.
So
No one's arguing
So
that.
here's the thing. It's kind of funny. Is like they're going to get fired if they lose.
Yes.
Done.
So they actually do have a free pass here.
Not for me, they don't.
But you're not paying the checks.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think fans are giving anybody a free check.
But fans don't
Nobody has
matter.
a free pass.
I love-
Half the fan base thinks that they should both be fired right now.
Yeah, but they're not.
I know they're not. That's
love
reality.
it.
But
And
a free pass is you can get this one wrong and be safe.
I think-
they
let
cannot get
Let's
this
let
one
Dustin
wrong.
finish his point.
I don't even know what my point is at this point.
Yeah.
I got your point. There is a quarterback in this draft. Now, go back to when the Niners took Brock Purdy with Mr. Irrelevant. That was, even if you ask John Lynch, we like him. That's a throwaway pick. That's just, you know what, we do want a little depth at that position. You're going to need it.
They got
Let's
lucky.
take him. We think he's got the tools. But nobody in the San Francisco organization took the podium after that draft and said, we've got a guy
They got
here.
lucky.
Jay, here's my point. Here's my
Go ahead,
point. Here's
go
my
ahead.
point.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
My point is this.
angry.
Okay, you could take Myles Garrett in this draft right now, and it doesn't matter. Like they're going to get fired.
Yes.
If they take the best player, they're going to get fired.
No,
so they have to go take the best quarterback.
So here's why you can't say that definitively. I can say if they get this
sure I
wrong,
can.
they're
Sure,
fired.
sure I can.
I can say definitively, if they get this wrong, they are fired. I can definitively
If
say
they get
that.
the quarterback wrong.
If they get the number 2 pick wrong,
disagree with you.
I think they're fired.
Disagree with you.
Because their track record is ass. They haven't had a good draft. In fact, collectively, their draft, I think you're right on the money. C-. That's what I give their draft collectively. You need a home run. You've got to bring that above a C grade.
And the only home run you could get is a quarterback.
Correct.
That's
So
the
if they
only,
get Travis Hunter, and let's just pretend for a second, if they get Travis Hunter, and he comes in and has a Jamar Chase kind of season,
right.
they're fired.
Yes.
If they get 5 wins, yes.
Malik
No, no, I'm
Neighbors
not. I'm
just
not.
did that
I'm
in
not
New
projecting
York.
the wins. I'm saying if
Giants
this guy
still
comes
suck.
in,
That's the
if this guy comes in and balls out,
Yes.
because if your quarterback balls out and you get 5 wins, bye, because he has more impact on the game than the wide receiver.
No,
does.
they wouldn't because
If you play the rookie and you win 5 games, there's going to be moments where he shows
Right.
signs of
He
progress.
better look good a lot more
Well,
than
you said if he
bad.
balls out, he's getting fired. If they draft a quarterback
And he
and
look
he
good.
balls out, it's irrelevant what their record is next year.
Yes.
He won't get fired. They won't get
They
fired.
won't get fired.
If I'm just going to say this definitively, you can print this.
Yeah.
If they win 3 games again next year, everybody's gone.
Okay.
There's no free pass.
Sure, but the
but they got the quarterback right, but we won
Jay,
3 games.
it's
not-
kinda- it's kinda hard to
the
get the
odds of
quarterback
winning
in.
3 games with a quarterback
Quarterback-
playing great are
it's
nearly
tough.
impossible.
And
You
if
got
you have a
Super
Jamar
Jets.
Chase kind of season at wide receiver,
doesn't-
coupled with the other wide receiver that you have, I'm just going to project that this team's
So,
going to win some
what are
football
the odds
games.
of having a Jamar Chase type of season with a bad quarterback? It's
What are the
almost
odds
never
of
happens.
one of the 2 guys that are there having a Jaden Daniels type season?
He can have Bo Nix type season.
Neither is likely.
I would say it's more likely at wide receiver because we've seen it a lot at wide receiver.
We have
We've seen wide receivers come in and have success year 1
with
right
bad
away.
quarterbacks.
I'm not
Malik
bull.
Neighbors.
That's outside. Yeah, Malik Neighbors is a great example,
And the
but I'm not
Giants
even
still
looking
suck.
at that.
Malik
I'm not
Neighbors
even
didn't have a
looking at that.
Jamar Chase type season. What are you talking about?
Well,
he had a
first of
good
all-
season.
First of all, he was hurt, right? He spent not a lot of time, but some
I mean,
time
we-
out.
These
We're
guys'
arguing
jobs
over
are on the
nothing now.
line. They're not going to wait around for a mid-round pick.
You're right.
Yeah.
They're
They're
on
not
the
going to
line.
wait for Mr. Irrelevant.
Get it wrong, quarterback or wide receiver. Get it wrong, bye.
All right, we got
they
Super
know.